Netflix? No!
I'm Ashley Bell.
I'm Gabby Slocum.
We watched the movie that was originally called The Philosophers, but has since been renamed to After the Dark.
However, I think The Philosophers would have been a much more apt title for this movie.
Yeah, definitely.
This movie overall, not bad.
Not terrible.
Actually.
I picked out the movie because I wanted to spoil myself a bit after all these other really bad movies, and I wanted to actually have something I cared about a little bit. But it had mediocre ratings overall, some negative, some a little bit better, but nothing like, oh god, it's good. So I thought it'd be a good choice.
I guess very quickly, the premise of the movie is there is a class of high school students in this international school in Indonesia, and it's a philosophy class, and it's their last day. The professor is giving them this apocalyptic scenario and seeing how they, as philosophy students, would deal with it.
The apocalypse scenario is basically everybody has roles that they have.
That they drew from a box.
They drew from, randomly, so, a poet, or,
a structural engineer.
Stuff like that. And they had to choose which out of the 21 of them, which 10 of them would survive, because there was a bunker that was only built enough for 10 people. If you had any more, they'd all die.
Yes.
So they had to choose, and they were supposed to do it by logic and all this other jazz. It was really weird.
The main antagonist of this character was
was the teacher.
Was the teacher.
He was a total douchebag.
If the movie's goal was to make me hate him, 10 out of 10, because I was screaming at the TV. I could not stand this character. He was terrible. I called him words that I cannot say on this show for reasons of Ashley will have to edit it later, and that will be irritating for her.
Yes.
So, he was so pretentious. He basically constructed these scenarios and played God and decided that if he didn't get his way with things, everyone was going to die because boo, hoo, why doesn't anyone care about me and my feelings? Really, I just want to sleep with the protagonist.
It was really obnoxious, and what really got me was the fact that he was the one acting like a child the most out of them when they were high schoolers, which I honestly thought they were seniors in college for the entirety of the movie until the end when I found out they were high schoolers, which to me is complete BS based on what they're learning, how they're speaking, how they're acting, and their relationship with their teacher.
Yeah. I realized they were high schoolers from the beginning, which may have been why I was so angry the entire time, because the sexual explicitness that is happening in this movie between the teacher and the main character, whose name is Petra, is unbelievable. I even straight up said at one point in the movie,
she did really early on,
I guarantee that the only reason he is setting up this scenario like this is so he gets to sleep with her.
Which, this girl also has a boyfriend in the class who he is basically bullying the entire time, and at the end, spoiler alert by the way, we find out she actually had an affair with the teacher, and the boyfriend didn't know about this, and then she breaks up with him at the end because he was being a bully. So I don't know, it was really weird. I like that choice, I guess, but I'm upset there was ever a thing that is not okay. That's sexual harassment. I'm pretty sure that's molestation. I don't even care if she consented. It was
terrible.
It's weird.
It was absolutely terrible. We come to find out at some point in the middle that the whole thing was rigged, so people got specific rules. And by people got specific rules, I mean Petra, the main girl,
and her boyfriend,
got the best role as
nothing bad. So she was always necessary in the experiment.
Yeah, she got the role of structural engineer, and then they opened up their cards and had something in the middle, and electrical engineer, where her boyfriend got
organic farmer, and then in the middle, gay.
Because the main goal of this is procreation and extending the human race past their year in the bunker, he wasn't really that necessary at that point.
Although I really liked what this movie did with gay people and people of color and all kinds of different religions.
That exceptionally
It wasn't just oh, you're there as a token, and it wasn't oh my god, all your things ever revolve around you being gay. It was just it's a part of who you are, and that's totally okay.
There was a really lovely scene that Ashley really enjoyed where we found out this character was gay, and the way we found out was you had your roles, but aside from your assigned role, you were what you were in real life. And this guy ended up in bed with the boyfriend of Petra, not quotes boyfriend, but the boyfriend of Petra who was gay in the scenario. And the girl's like, wait, what do you mean? And he's like, oh,
I'm gay.
Other than that you're what you are in real life. And that was his coming out.
And she's like, oh, I didn't know that. He's like, you met my boyfriend last Christmas. She's like, I thought that was your cousin. I'm so sorry. And it was just so normal and natural, something that would actually happen. And I really liked that. which was really cool. And another thing that was awesome was the same girl, not really her, but another guy could have been someone to have sex with someone else, but he was like, so in my religion, it's not completely forbidden to sleep outside of my religion, but it is completely forbidden to sleep with someone who isn't completely committed to me, which I kind of thought was really nice.
Yes.
Because,
and he wasn't shaming the girl for having sex. He was just saying, I personally can't sleep with you. I'm sorry.
It's like in my religion, it's part of my moral code. But yeah, he wasn't shaming anyone else for doing whatever. He just decided he was going to be completely monogamous with one person.
Another great feminist point in this movie, this girl who was assigned soldier.
Yeah.
She was assigned soldier.
Badass.
The teacher in the scenario, and by the way this works is they're originally in a classroom, but then they go into this mental world, I guess, which is where the scenario is happening.
Yeah.
It's confusing to explain, but it makes sense in the thing, but Ashley will tell you also why it doesn't make sense in the thing in a minute. And she basically said, the teacher said that they needed to start having all the girls have multiple partners so that there was a better chance of someone getting pregnant. And she stood up to him and said, you are not going to make me have sex with someone I do not want to have sex with. And really just stood up for herself, for her body rights.
Claiming her role and stuff. And he decided he was going to hold a gun to her head if she wasn't listening to him because he's God.
And then one of the gay men stabbed him in the ear with a pencil, and I cheered so hard. But then, guess what? Teacher kills everybody because, I don't get to sleep with underage women anymore.
Literally so frustrating.
This movie made me so angry. And
the students were wonderful.
Yes.
Like, there wasn't a single one I didn't like. There was a whole thing with the teacher. Apparently, because he has power and a gun, and we're getting darker and darker as this goes on.
I know.
It's awful. But he kept shooting the guy that had poet. Like, he couldn't even say his second thing. It was like, oh, I'm a poet, shot, dead. And they're just like, okay. And then again, I'm a poet, shot, dead. And it was so annoying, but all right. So basically, this whole thing is like a thought experiment is what they call it, and they're in the classroom discussing what would happen. But they never really show conflict in the classroom. They only ever show it through the imaginary mind. So I'm always like, well, what's happening in the classroom? And I imagine it looks something like this. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, no, I shot you.
No, I shot you.
No, I shot you first.
You're dead.
No,
okay. I shot you in that arm.
No, I moved my arm really quickly, so you missed.
But I still shot you there.
Here?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God. Oh,
Okay,
but I had my booster reactor. I'm all better.
Oh God. Where did you shoot me?
On your leg.
But I have magic powers, so I can just fix it.
Whoa. Oh man, okay. But I have spikes in my boots. And,
Okay, if you have spikes in your boots, then I have fire in my hand.
I'm dead.
I'm dead too.
So like children basically playing pretend. But we don't really get to see that. But I think that would be a much more hilarious movie.
Yes.
Honestly.
There was a really funny point later on after a lot of really dramatic stuff has happened. In the third scenario, because they have 3 apocalyptic scenarios. And this guy's basically like, oh yeah, when I wasn't like chosen for the bunker, I went to this island and there were 6 women there so I could sleep with whoever I wanted. And then the other 3 guys.
We're like, well, where were we?
We were on the boat too. And he's like, you drowned. You got attacked by a barracuda.
You had a coconut accident. and it was just really funny because he killed them off, not like the teacher. He wasn't trying to play God. He was like, hold on, I'm just entertaining myself, clearly admitting to it, saying it was fun. And he killed them off in really kind of hilarious ways so that they could at least have their own stories and it wasn't just like, oh, it's all about me.
Right.
So it was funny and it was well done and it showed that he was a kind person and not doing it because he wanted to be God.
Yeah.
But really just because he had nothing else to do.
To wrap this up so we're not getting too dark on you guys, I know the lighting situation's kind of weird. The ending of this movie was terrible.
Yeah.
He had 3 different scenes of him walking upstairs. It was the exact same scene. And then, I guess, 3 different scenes following that each time it happened. So the first, he walks upstairs and then it shows him eating a sandwich. The second, it shows him walking upstairs and then we assume he shoots himself because he pulls out a gun and then there's a gunshot. And then the third, he walks up the stairs and nothing.
Thinks about Petra.
And then the movie ends. Which we're assuming that was meant to parallel the 3 apocalyptic scenarios and the different endings that could have happened from that. But it was a terrible ending, honestly. From an overall, not terrible movie. Because while I may have absolutely hated the antagonist, if that was their goal, holy crap, a movie has never succeeded so much in doing that.
Maybe
but
Umbridge,
I loved he might be worse, and that is saying something. That is truly saying something, friends. So,
all right, what are you gonna give this movie?
I'm gonna give it 2 O's.
I was thinking the exact same thing. 2 O's. Like, not terrible. I mean, definitely not like a great movie, but I really like the social aspects, and I thought a lot of the characters were really awesome.
Yes, so did I.
I think it's definitely worth the watch.
Yeah. Check it out. Be angry, scream at the antagonist.
We spoiled it all for you, but whatever.
Yeah, do it anyway. Do it. Forget this movie. Forget this ever happened. Pretend I have the thing from Men in Black. There you go. You're good.
One more time.
Netflix, no! Also, comment below to see who would win the apocalypse or survive in the apocalypse, me or Ashley. Aww.
It's you.